Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're catching me either on my YouTube channel, True Divine 44, or my Facebook page, True Divine 44. Like, share, subscribes and comments on either or both of those platforms is gratefully received, and thank you very much for the people who are doing that regularly and helping support me, teaching me a lot about videos and tech stuff. I appreciate it all very, very much. So I'm putting out as much free content as I can to help support, guide and inspire the collective. I feel that that's part of my role. I feel that that's something I'm supposed to do. For you, I ask that if you listen to my readings, that you play your role in being discerning and taking what resonates here, taking what gets you in your heart, and leaving the rest behind that doesn't. Don't bend any of the readings to your will, because sometimes general readings are great, but I do worry that some people could bend it to the will and they have such strong intent about it that they actually manifest problems in their life that they didn't actually have before or didn't need to worry about before. So be discerning, take what resonates here and leave the rest behind. So the first card is for the 5th of May 2020, close to my birthday. In the family we've got 3 birthdays all in the month of May. Me, my mum and my brother. So it's a pretty hectic month, all towards the back end. So the first card anyway for the 5th of May 2020 is the 10 of Cups. This is awesome. This is a beautiful card, and we have been on a real roller coaster the last 3 months, maybe more. And this is a up cycle. That yesterday I felt the energies lift. Yesterday there was a creative energy. There was a real sewing back together, connecting back together with the divine feminine creative source, like the source energy, really strong divine feminine energy, echoing throughout everything yesterday. And today that continues, and you can see that it's been feeding people that energy. That divine feminine energy has been doing what it does best, nourishing, nurturing, uplifting, holding space and time for creation itself. And you yourself are a beautiful creation. And this 10 of Cups represents that feeding and that nurturing. This is, the cup overfloweth, in alignment with self, at peace with who you are and where you are. And that doesn't mean to say you're not recognizing still places for growth, but even that is being in alignment, where before maybe you tried to ignore certain aspects of self, or being a bit frightened to face certain aspects of self, or certain aspects that needed to be healed by yourself, for yourself. This still recognizes that, and that is in alignment. We're never, the word perfect is a bit strange, because we can get to this point where, to me, this is perfectly imperfect. That we are in alignment with our journey. We're in alignment with the recognition of self and who we are and what we need to do next. This just speaks to connections, and strong connections at that, family connections. Even if people aren't your blood, there's been bonds that have been made, brotherhoods, sisterhoods, that really have bonded together, found tribe, found a common cause, a common way of thinking. And that's part of the huge blessing of what is meant for harm can be turned around for good. And for all of the individuals that have been doing the inner work, and helping others and themselves throughout this whole time, you are all part of that. You're all part of getting to this point, because what was meant to divide in fear and in confusion and cause people to fight, cause people to want to harm each other, has actually had the opposite effect. It's given us a common cause to fight against. So the henpecking and the infighting has not stopped, but it's lessened to a huge degree. I'm noticing far less divisional statuses on social media, and far less divisional statuses coming out of people's mouths. You know, there's less division here, and that is a beautiful thing. That really is alignment. That really is the recognition of there are no differences. We are all individuals that have unique aspects of self, but the outer shell means nothing. The outer shell just adds to the detail. It's the detail in the painting of the person. It's not the person. It's not what that person can be judged by. And there's a real feeling of just humans respecting humans. And that's a beautiful thing. So there's real alignment here today, real positive energy being injected into the collective, which is awesome, because that is exactly, I feel like we're at a point where if, and I'm saying if, we are in a certain war. We've been in a spiritual war, whether you're aware of that or not, and we have been on the ground war. And instead of going and doing the predicted things, the way that the plan was predicted by the opposer, let's say, by the outside constructs that designed this script with that shall not be named or given air scenario, you know, there was a predicted reaction, or a certain set of predicted reactions. Literally, there was a meeting about the predicted reactions and how to make those happen. And so instead of doing that, I'm so proud today of every individual that is represented in the energy of this beautiful card, because instead of doing that, we've gone to war without raising a gun, without holding a knife, without doing any of that. We've gone to war with ourselves, our inner demons, our inner egos, the things that we've been carrying that got us into this state in the first place, that the way we could be conditioned and manipulated into this place in the first place. Many people have gone within and done that battle to dig out that which would cause us to be so easy to manipulate. So instead of raising weapons, we've started from within, which is where everything should start. And that is reflected on the outside, because we've, through doing that inner work, through weeding our inner garden, we have ended up reflecting not a reactionary state, not a predictable state. We have come together with love and compassion and openness. We've healed some of the divides. And so really what was meant for huge harm, and it's not over yet, but this is, if we were in a, maybe like a physical war, or in a war game, maybe on the consoles, then at this point we would be raising a glass and having a little bit of respite and saying, well done girls, well done boys. We've broken that part of the strategy. That part of the strategy is now breaking apart. It's done. We've planted the bomb in there. That's brilliant. That's huge. And it might not feel as huge to you today as it is, but it will become apparent in the weeks, the months, the years to come, that this part of our strategy, rather than our reactionary or triggered state, made a huge difference as to how the future was determined, as to how the outcome was determined. So this is massive, and it's very important as well that on an individual level that we're teaching our children this in ancient times, in my knowings, I can't explain them, just knowings that I have of certain ancient ways. Children were taught first and foremost about their inner light source, their inner energy, their inner fuel, how to control it, how to manipulate it, how to move it around with intent. And through that there was more sovereignty, even within the children, more divinity, more knowledge. And knowledge is power, and knowledge of self is the most powerful of all. And I really feel that it's our role now to start passing that down to our children, our grandchildren, just children that were around in general, to give them that gift. You know, this is the kind of gift that if, you know, God forbid they were at school and getting bullied, this is the kind of gift that can actually teach them that they are never alone, that they always have a supportive light source inside that they can soothe themselves with until mommy or daddy gets there. But you know, it gives them power. It makes them feel like they have more control over their own lives and over how they are treated by others and how they deal with it when they are treated by others in good or bad ways. It gives them those extra tools that they deserve, that we've all deserved. And you know, maybe it's taken something that was meant for harm. Humans are like that, you know. It's as if we wait for the crisis to hit before we do the real work. And so maybe it's taken this something that was meant for harm to drive us into a position of actually getting this done, really getting this done. But the next phase is, just as our children have been getting attacked now for many years, with the manipulation, the control, the school system, you know, the adverts, the games, all aimed to make them easy to manipulate, easy to control, easy to conform. It's our job to start unpicking that now with the knowledge we've gained through this. It's our job to pass down that knowledge of self to them and start unpicking that part of their strategy also. And that again is a level up more powerful. So it's really, really strong energy, really good energy, really positive energy in this card. Again, the Six of Pentacles. This keeps coming out for the rolling theme that has been going on for weeks within the tarot cards that I've been pulling, these repetitive cards. And again, the Six of Pentacles is so deep, and it gets deeper each time it gets pulled out of the deck. It's, you know, when it was first being pulled out of the deck a few weeks ago, it really represented the community coming together, people being generous, people receiving in a grateful way, this reciprocity. And there was the lesson there for a lot of people to manage the scales. Don't give away too much. Don't give away so that your own fuel tank is depleted. Only give what you can afford to give whilst keeping your fuel tank full also. And that there was real wisdom in that. That wasn't selfishness. That was something different. That was wisdom and keeping your divinity and keeping your balance so that you could ultimately go on and continue for a longer period of time to give. Indefinitely. If you can balance your scales out, you can give generously of energy, of time, of things, of finance, for as long as you want to, as long as you're balancing those scales and not depleting self. So that was, you know, the first lesson that came across a few weeks, you know. And then now this is deeper. This goes into the next phase of the lessons that this card gives us in such a beautiful way, is that we've learned how to connect with others again. We've learned how to care for others again. We've learned how to receive gratefully, and we've learned how to give beautifully. But now we're looking to nature. Now we're recognizing that there's the fuel source within the divine feminine energy running through the whole of creation. And there's a real ancient relationship there that we need to be appreciating the nature that we have around us and the abundance with the food, the berries, the beauty that we have around us in abundance wherever we are, but also that the divine feminine within this big womb that is Earth has been there and wants to be there again to do so much more for us, and that is that it diffuses us. If we can make time, make space and time in our lives to connect with nature, to connect with the Great Mother, however that pleases you, however that works for you, even if it's on a skateboard and it's just feeling the wind in your hair and the air rushing into your lungs as you go up and down the ramps, or whether it's peacefully gardening, planting seeds, getting your fingers soily, whatever that is for you, make sure that you are making space and time for that connection with nature. You know, bury your feet. It's very important that whatever land you're on, whether it's in the water, whether it's on the sand, whether it's in the soil, whether it's on the stones, on the rocks, bare feet as regularly as you can, directly onto any of those surfaces, and with the intent to move the energy in anything that you need rid of, especially any negative energies that you feel like you're carrying or that you've picked up along the way. You can visualize that light, you can color that light however you want to, moving around your body with intent, right down through your toes. I always picture my veins lighting up. It makes it easier for me to follow that light around my body, going around the circulatory system. Plus it looks really pretty in my head. And then I visualize those veins in my feet, which obviously look like tree roots. Go figure, everything reflecting on everything. Then going from my feet into the ground and burying themselves, intertwining into whatever ground I'm standing on there and then. And you can feel the energy flow. You can feel the divine feminine within creation on whatever surface you choose, drawing that energy from you. But then you open yourself up again, and that same creative force is there to push and replenish fresh energy back into you. This is grounding. And grounding at the deepest levels is so important for us to be able to stay in balance, for us to be able to balance those scales. So creation is the material also. So use it. Use this card. It's time to not just always think on the surface layer, which the surface layer can be really pretty, really good, and it is, this giving and receiving to and from people. We need to take it down the deeper meanings in the cards right now, and that's part of this deeper meaning, that real connection that is there for us, that is supposed to be a part of us. It is a part of us. It's just that with whatever forces, whatever decisions we've made along the way, we've put the veil over it. We've disguised it as something that it's not. It is alive, and it wants to be connected fully, intentfully. So do that today. You know, whatever opportunity you have to just put your toes onto whatever surface it is, and visualize the energy exchange, and see how you feel afterwards. Your day will go 100% better, especially if you've been having a bad day. You really do feel the difference. And especially if you're having a day of this 10 of Cups, an awesome day, because you put in all of that awesomeness into creation. You can bet your life it's going to match it and more to send it back to you. So either way, actually, it's an awesome thing to do, and something that will replenish and uplift you. So the third card being Again, another repeating card from yesterday, the Three of Pentacles. Now, yesterday I went into this just knowing this, I can see these teams working and getting excited. This is teamwork. This is different individuals coming together to create something, to plan something, to manifest something into the collective consciousness. And I could just picture and feel these excited teams for different things, many things for holistic medicine, real healing medicine, bringing back the ancient knowledge, a lot to do with the light spectrum and using light in a different way. And it was funny because that came up a little while ago, and then, I don't support any politician one way or the other, but if an individual says something that I agree with, then I'll speak up about it. If an individual, regardless of their role, says something that, I disagree with it, I might just let it go and not give it air, or I might, speak up about that also. And actually it was interesting to me and uplifting to me for the confirmation of what President Trump said about the UV light. As fumbly as he said it, it made sense to me, and that to me is exciting, because that's the kind of teams that I see really thinking this is the opportunity to slip past Big Pharma and get in there and release the things that we've known we can create and known we can do for a long time, but have been blocked off. The doors are opening for these different teams on an individual level. There's people coming together that are creating things for the community, for the local community, to uplift the community, to make something, make some of the positive things that have happened throughout all of this within the community a lasting thing, something that continues on after this, something that is the importance of it is remembered long after all of this is all said and done. This also speaks to today. Things are aligning in a way that there's much bigger things going on, good and bad, behind our backs while we're all in our homes. Well, most of us are in our homes. And this speaks to the reflection of the spiritual battle that's going on, being reflected on the ground. There are teams of brave individuals doing very brave things to help the vulnerable, to try and lift those that are suffering abuse and maybe have only ever known abuse out of the situation that they've been put in. There's moving parts that are putting their own lives in danger to counteract the darkness that has been allowed, especially towards children. And so I send, and I hope you'll stand with me, if this resonates with you, energy out to those individuals, strength, protection, and absolute 100% respect. These people are braver than most can imagine to be, and they are doing things that are priceless right now, and putting themselves on the line in doing so. And so it will become clear what these teams have done, but I don't think it'll ever become clear to the truest extent of what danger they were in and what they faced, the things that they've had to see. And all we can do is, if those individuals are in our lives or not, is send them energy and support them, and love them through whatever visuals they suffer from after this. And I would say thank you. Thank you for all that you're doing. Because what you're doing is huge. And it's sort of even more heroic that it's in silence. that nobody really knows who these people are. Nobody really knows what these people are facing or what these people are having to see. And to me, in a way that makes it even more heroic. It makes me feel like my granddad's here. And my granddad was a hero in the war. He helped save his comrades. He stayed behind so that they could escape. As a Japanese war prisoner. Me and my granddad spent most days together, walking the same streets that I live on now. And he continued to do this community work till his dying day. He never stopped looking after people. He never stopped making things happen for people. And he used to have nightmares every night and scream out at the horrors that he'd seen, at the horrors he'd been subject to. He never once spoke about it. He didn't want to, and we never once told him about hearing his nightmares. He was so brave that he never wanted to put the visions in our minds. He still wanted to even protect us from that he fought so that we would never see that kind of thing, so that we would never feel that kind of abuse, that we would never have to witness the things that he had witnessed and take the kind of physical and mental torture that he had taken. And that is bravery on another level, because he carried that alone, and he did it gladly, because he never once for 1 minute wanted me or anybody else that he loved to have that burden, to have those things in their minds that they could never forget. And so I find it heartbreaking that my granddad went through all of that only for the things that he fought against and the things that he fought for to go underground and just be more secretive about what they were doing. The abuse has never stopped. The torture has never stopped. And that's the reality that we have to face. And the people that are involved in these moving parts, these teams that are moving around the world, doing things that are endangering their lives and really affecting their psychological balance for the things that they're having to see. It's up to us as a community to make it worth their while, to be aware and alert about what's been going on, to make sure that we continue to work in teams, that we continue to innovate good things for the collective, that we continue to make ourselves whole so that it's not a waste of time. Of course, it wouldn't be a waste of time anyway because of what they're doing to release these people who have known nothing but abuse. But in long term, it's our job to make sure that that isn't wasted. It's our job to never be divided again through petty things, through skin colour, through culture, through, music taste, whatever it might be. That we learn to agree to disagree and allow individuals to be individuals and never go back to making huge divides, making caverns between each other, and holding on to grudges that, were from generations ago, that we actually as this generation haven't experienced. To agree that actually to a certain extent we've all been fooled, we've all been controlled, we've all been manipulated, and we've all worked for the few. Now it's time for us to stay strong in these teams and continue to do so long after this is all said and done. This has been a wake-up call. and it's heartening to see how many people have listened to that alarm, and it continues to grow. I felt I had to pull out a card to clarify this teamwork card, this collaboration card, and it's the Sun card. And I couldn't have pulled out a better card to clarify how I was feeling about these teams that I see today. The teams that I saw yesterday, the innovators, the things that are going to make people better, that are going to make people well without the side effects of other certain drugs. Today, visualizing these teams that I've kept seeing in my visions for a long time now, putting their lives in danger, doing the worst job ever, but at the same time the most liberating job, the most impactful job. And this is the Sun card. Things are going to come to light about the true reality of the certain abuses that have gone on under our noses. And that might be difficult to face, but not if we're prepared, not if we are in alignment, community driven, and in teams together, collaborating, making things that are making space for newness, for new ways of being. The Sun is benevolent. These things are going to come out in a way that even if you don't think you're strong enough to take them there and then, you are. The Sun knows this. The Sun knows that you're ready to grow and expand and know everything, to see everything under its light. Just a side note is get out in the sun as much as possible. It's been so covered up how wonderful the sun is and what it can give to us, what it does for our physical health, what it does for our spiritual health. Go for sun gazing, look it up. Start very, very slow. Build it up like any exercise. Really start to research the true benevolence of our physical sun, and what it does for us physically, how it replenishes us, how it gives us energy, how it makes us grow, how it protects us with the certain things that increases in our body. And it's for you to go and research that. I'm not a doctor, but I know this. I just know this. And you know this yourself. When you've been out in the sun, you always feel better than when you've been out in the cold. So enjoy the sun and be enlightened and be aware and alert for things coming to the forefront, things coming into the consciousness, things that we need to know, so that we continue to work in these teams to never repeat them again, to never allow them to be repeated again. There's no hiding right now. Both in our individual lives, we're starting to show our whole selves and we can't help it. Going towards what we want, growing, changing, morphing, expanding. But also on the greater stage, there's no hiding. There's light being shone in every corner, every crevice, for good or bad. And it's up to us to take note of what the sun is shining light on, what it's enlightening us about, and make sure it has an impact that, we take it on board to never repeat, especially the bad things, ever again. On the bottom of the deck is the Tower card. And, the Tower card often, I think, the Tower card, really? Do I have to? Love this Tower card today, because this is the constructs for me today. These are the constructs that have been manipulating, controlling and lying for so long, and housing such abuses and allowing and financing and encouraging such abuses on the collective and on innocent individuals, vulnerable individuals. This is the Tower, the constructs of falling down, being struck by lightning, literally everything that is made up of illusion, of lies, of ego, being stripped away. Now, in our individual lives, because everything does reflect in and out on everything, it might be that a lot of us are going through this tower moment, and it might involve the fact that, you know, you're just becoming aware, or you're just being enlightened about certain aspects of the reality that you've been living in. And it might be a little bit difficult to take, but to be honest, the Tower card is benevolent in a weird, destructive, thunderous way. But in this reading, with the layout of this reading, with the 10 of Cups, the 6 of Pentacles, and the 3 of Pentacles, and then the Sun, this is the most supported and most destructive, but at the same time gentle Tower card I've ever felt. That ultimately with this Tower card, even if you're in the midst of the constructs in your life that have been made up of ego and lies and that aren't right for you, don't serve you right, are falling down, you have this inner peace about it. You know that you needed to strip away and shed away the people that aren't right in your life for you, the things that you're doing, that you know, any addictions, any codependencies. You're ready, and if you are going to have the Tower card, this is the best Tower card in the best layout on the best day for you to have. It's always a supportive Tower, but with the Sun here, this is a real supported Tower card. It's almost as if you've been gearing up for it and you're ready and you just want it to happen already. All of the things in your life that just don't fit you anymore, because you've expanded, you've grown under the Sun, to be stripped away, because you're ready, you're eager to move, create, be a part of your own future, to create the future around the real you that you've discovered under this sunlight. So that is the reading for the 5th of the 5th, 2020. I'm super excited, super happy. I love a little bit of constructive destruction, especially under the light of the beautiful sun. This is powerful. This is a very powerful energy. This is awesome. So if you would like a private reading with me, you can get in touch with any of the details above or below this video. Other than that, much love, be balanced, be whole. As always, I love you.